Cargo desk gets rock auto. Driver's side CV axle. Subaru. Man. Subaru.
All right. You guys all ready to rock?
Yeah, I'm just putting my parts together.
I was, I guess more referring to Steve because I haven't, or to Damien because I haven't heard him say anything.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So last week, turn your tokens sideways one more time. I'll give you a second to correct that.
What?
There we go. I was talking to Damien. He knows what's up.
Oh.
So we last left with, we had rejoined our last session. You had been abducted by Captain Bertrand Maw. Your ship that you would sail with across the inner sea with Captain Winston Deadsails was waylaid. And your ship was taken to... I'm sorry, was captured, and you were taken into what you considered and what the rest of the crew considered to be enslavement.
Hold on, we didn't consider that to be enslavement.
The crew did.
They did, but I wouldn't.
As you were being led into the dungeon, ready for processing, you decided that the ruse would go no further, and you would fight back. You begin by slaying every pirate that you came across that came in front of you, with a brief respite. I need to take 5 seconds. I'm sorry about the stream. Just give me a sec. Sorry, either way, I'm just going to continue as fast as I can. So once inside, you were waylaid by pirates and you fought all of them off. You then were called out by Captain Maw himself in an effort to surrender. You then declined that offer as well, and proceeded to finish off his personal guard, as well as his personal mage and himself. Upon further exploration of the cavern, you went down into a small recession, which is an underground cave beneath the cave that you were in. Inside, you were ambushed by aquatic elves and their pack of sea trolls. You also dispatched this group with prejudice, and that is where we find us now. In a cold, wet, dripping cave surrounded by aquatic or amphibious creatures' bodies.
Leo. Here, I can change it. I'm in on here. On roll 20.
You heard there was commotion, not only before the fighting started, by like verbal communication with these creatures, but the present sound of dripping water was almost completely dwarfed out by the sound of combat. Now that combat has receded, it is eerily quiet, and those same sounds of dripping and dropping water are now almost cacophonous. But no other sounds.
How does my party look here? I'm just kind of looking over everyone. How they feeling, guys? I'm gonna tap Bodo on the head with my wand. Bodo,
I'm at
is
9.
only actually 7 from that, not 13.
Yeah, fighting 3 trolls will do that to you.
And sorry, Bobby, I didn't hear your report. What did you say?
I'm at 9.
Oh. There, 4 for you. I need to fix my macro for the wand because it doesn't get my modifier.
Hey, I'm into double digits again.
Wands do not get modifiers
Yeah, I
based
know,
on your
that's-
level.
Yeah, so Havoc got 7, Bobby got 4.
Okay.
I just need to fix the macro. I'll do that here in a second.
Yeah, you see that the unlit tunnels, the cavernous area that you're in, has no rear lighting. The only lighting that you've got is what your eyes have adjusted to from the light that's being cascaded down the stairs behind you. Aside from that, it is pitch in here. I thought you had low light vision. You have dark vision? Yeah, so it is pitch.
I'm gonna pull a torch out for Havoc and light it and hand it to him. For Bodo, I mean.
As you strike the torch, it takes a while for the torch itself to alight with just the damp setting that you're in. It seems as if the moisture is ever present, and even for the short time that your torch was out, it seemed to have started to absorb water. As the torch alights, you see a lot of the cavern becomes exposed rather than. I'll just kind of show you guys the rooms that you can see down the hallway. That it leads into another small chamber inside the cavern, but it looks to be just more wet, rough-hewn rock.
Don't ask.
As you move farther towards the south, or as you move deeper into the chamber itself, everyone give me a listen check.
Just a note, guys, y'all should take the /GM out of everything so that it shows up on stream for everyone.
Do you have any idea how long that would take me? We'll do it for the next game.
I just do it as I go. Every time I hit a check, I just highlight W, GM, hit backspace, hit the button.
So Bodo, you hear what sounded to be the original kind of dripping and dropping of this cave, making way to something that sounds much louder, more akin to rushing waves, but it sounds more like your entire head is in a conch shell. So you hear whooshing, but it's definitely now echoing and reverberating to the inside of this cave. Yeah, as it's just something you're now noticing, but as you get closer, you notice that the sound is amplifying as you move closer this way. It seems like the sound's noise is static, but the noise, as you get closer to it, is becoming louder. Correct. Give me a search check. You know that this isn't really a surface that would support traps with what looks to be standing water as well as water moving down the walls at a frequent pace. There's not really anything that would be able to be hidden. The water itself is only about an inch thick that you're walking through, but it's crystal clear, and you can see the bottom of the cave floor reflecting off the light of your torch. As you make your way closer, the sound is clearly the sound that you heard is clearly coming from a large pool that's in the center of the room. It looks almost like a contained whirlpool. The water inside of it is spinning and churning, albeit not violently per se, but it is definitely swirling and moving. But it is not, the water level itself is not rising or falling. I'm sorry, say that again. Correct, it does have a rocky outcropping around the side of it that raises off the floor just a hair.
Are we talking dog's hair, human hair? What kind of hair are we talking here? You'd know.
A Bobby beard hair.
That's a very thick hair.
You can give me a knowledge nature check.
The sounds of success.
Right. So this looks to be some form of water return. It almost seems as if, as you notice closer, there are claw marks on either side of these rocks. This looks to be a place of ingress and egress through the cave that doesn't require any access to the caves above. Correct.
Come out of the ocean.
Because that way, it would make a lot of sense that these aquatic creatures are moving back and forth through a slave or prison hold. You get a good impression that there's two sets. One from what you imagine, from the trolls, and the other from the smaller creatures. But both are more worn grooves than they are fresh scratches.
I was hanging out with you. I can go check other locations, so if they're not going to move. Instead of pulling out a torch, this time I'm going to actually cast light on my sword. And just hold my sword out in front of me.
As you do so, bright. What color is your light spell?
It'll be purple.
Purple. So like a bright violet light emits, and we'll just do this. It starts beaming off the walls, and you see the rest of the cave, with the water on the floor, become illuminated.
I'm going to make my way around and just kind of check out this area over here.
You see what looked to be rough lodging. It almost has the feeling that this space was used as temporary lodging. Everything here is kind of new and untouched. But it doesn't look as if this is a domicile that has been lived in so much as just frequented.
Do I see anything of interest laying around?
Give me a search check.
Nope, no, I do not.
There is quite a bit of light radiating off of your sword, and the cascading shadows and walls seem to be playing tricks on your eyes. As you start to look, you can't help but kind of wince your eyes and shake your head. And as your head starts to clear while still being bright, there's nothing but smooth stone and water as far as you can see.
All right. Kind of want to check out. Is this another stairway right here?
No, there's just one stairway in and out.
Okay, so that's just like the wall. Doing something weird. All right. I'm going to just report back to Bodo. I didn't find anything of use. There's just another room, a weird wall, and then this entrance into the sea. Yeah. No, I don't want to go swimming. DM, I have a question. Can I give like an insight check to know if Leo would be correct in assuming that those trolls were how they were lifting the ships and moving them back?
Give
Sure.
me a knowledge arcana check.
Ooh, okay. Oh, that was a weak one for a +5.
You notice that, again, with the magic that was surrounding the ships when you were abducted, you notice distinct magical senses from the school of summoning or conjuring, and you do not see nor feel the same propensity from these sea beasties, as you so eloquently called them.
All right, so it literally was just a bunch of small fish lifting us up. Or something. I don't know. Let's go.
Suits me just fine.
All right, so we're heading back upstairs. You make your way back up to the stairs into what is now, unfortunately, the familiar slavers' quarters. The smell of tin and iron, familiar smells to you of blood, so far are resonating through the cavern. You hear moving about, but you see it's now Captain Deadsail's crew, who've all been released and are milling about.
All right, the other part of our mission, Bodo, was to find the captain's ship, right? didn't we determine that staircase is what took us out?
Yeah, you smelled you had the smell of the sea and fresh air coming down that stairwell. You
Alright.
imagine that would lead to the surface.
And we decided to go the opposite direction because we're inquisitive.
Wasn't there a trap here? Did we disarm that?
There is a trap somewhere. I think one of them we disarmed. I'm not sure if we disarmed the other one.
It was a tripwire. Yeah.
All right, I'm just going to head towards that staircase and be very careful around that tripwire, making sure I step back over it because I obviously remember where it was from last time.
You'll easily find Captain Deadsails in the same room that you left him. He's orchestrating the release and arming of his sailors.
Yes, arming. Good.
He starts nodding when you're talking. He said, "Aye, we're going to continue outfitting ourselves. We're not men of combat, but it seems that's the course that that Umberly has set for us." As he's kind of looking around at his men, he said, "We'll stay here and continue to outfit ourselves. When you find a ship or any way off of this cursed rock, come down and let us know."
You?
I'm also gonna revert back, not bear form.
There you are.
Let's go up the stairs. All right.
Let's see how stealthily you are.
One.
I'll need a hide and move silently, please. You kind of lead the way up the stairs. It's a winding circular staircase, and as you start making your way up, the stairs become less damp and more solid, moving away from the carved stone and more towards hard packed earth and sand. As you make your way, you start to see what you hoped would be sunlight actually turns out to be moonlight. And as you make your way, the waning moon is actually now just barely a sliver in the sky, but because of the natural aspects of what you see, the cove in front of you reflects light well enough to see. You see as you come out from the docks here, you come out onto an almost sandy outcropping that's got hard packed stone underneath. A well put together dock stretches out in front of you, expanding across the small outlet of water, and then making a hard 90-degree turn and ending up somewhere in the murk and in stone on the other side of the cove. In the cove, you see the greedy siren, Captain Bertrand Law's ship, parked at an almost impossible angle in this tiny inlet. To call it a cove would be an exaggeration. At first glance, as you look, there is no motion, no sound, no nothing. It looks completely unmanned. Just slow, lazy, lapping waves and a slight breeze that's almost making a whistle as it carves through the rocks.
Yeah.
Between the dark night sky and the dancing, flickering shadows that are being cast by the torches that are intermittently spaced along this boardwalk, you are a specter. There's no sound nor light. All the ambient sound is enough to muffle your light footsteps, and the darkness provides adequate cover. There's
over here that I can see. It looks like a fire pit or something of that sort.
over where?
Yeah.
Right here.
Did you
Yeah.
say
So
you
this
can't
looks
hear
like
Willie?
Huh?
Havoc? Did you say you couldn't hear Willie? Oh.
So yeah, it looks to be the remains of a campfire. Upon closer inspection, they're still smoldering. But this looks to be a lookout post for the cove itself, but was hastily abandoned.
Hastily abandoned when they heard all their buddies downstairs getting killed.
Your insight is correct on that. As you get closer to the ship, you realize that the same shimmering shield that you saw surrounding the ship now is still surrounding the ship, albeit at a much smaller diameter. As you get closer, what expanded out to about a bow shot away from the port and starboard side of the ship is now not much more than 15 or 20 feet off the sides. I'll take a knowledge arcana check. As you look, you almost want to extend your hand, but as you do, hesitation takes hold as you realize you have no idea what's about to happen if you touch this. All right, give me a ranged attack roll. Your dexterity bonus plus your base attack bonus. As you wind up and loose your grappling hook, it passes with ease, almost as if the semi-transparent wall isn't even there, and hooks lazily onto the side of the ship, where with a quick tug you find purchase and the rope pulls taut.
I'm gonna move up next to Bodo. There may be another way. That I'm going to draw my sword and put it into the field.
Yeah, so as Erlam Spear, the tip breaches the shield, your sword starts wavering almost uncontrollably, as the magical energy is absorbed, or rather, all that can be. As you've seen before, with almost like pulling a plug from a bathroom drain, it absorbs quickly everything into it. You watch the shield start to absorb down into it before the shield itself is completely enveloped in your sword. A soft pop, a soft audible pop happens as the remainder of the shield kind of bursts like a bubble and falls ever so gently down to the water, leaving our lamp spear still vibrating like a tuning fork.
Huh.
I was over here thinking that we were going to need to take a break. Needed some rest so that I could dispel that thing. I forgot all about your sword.
I'm going to resheath it now and give it a little tap.
You notice at a second glance that normally there's a kind of lazy ebb to the darkness that falls from your blade. Now it looks almost as if it's just spilling over. Imagine, again, kind of liquid fire, shadow, just like billowing out as if the blade itself is lit. But as you put it back into the sheath, the seemingly incessant billowing is swallowed up and muffled by the scabbard.
Alrighty. Shall we?
Believe we shall.
Yep, it's completely gone. Every vestige of it is now gone. Good and bad. Are you using? Yeah, you can just walk aboard. You don't need a grappling hook. Although the gangplank does not enter the top of the ship. There's a like barn-style door that's on the side where this gangplank is led up to, and the door itself is shut.
Let's go.
All right, so you're gonna do what now? You're gonna open the door. All right, I need a reflex save from everybody.
Because of course the door's gonna be trapped. And I don't want to hear an aw hell from you, Mister. I just rolled a 26. Or from him, who just
25,
rolled a
huh?
25. Where's that natural one when I need it?
Well, let's see it. Yeah, good enough. So, Bodo, as you touch the door, upon impact with your hand, you see what look to be sigils and glyphs in a pattern on the door begin to illuminate. And as they reach a bright luminescence, a cacophonous roar explodes. Seeing it, you kind of have time. You, Sergeant, and Leo all see it in time to kind of lean forward and put the best brunt against it. Till, however, I need a balance skill check, please.
I'm following the water.
Oh.
So with the blast, Till, being unprepared, is rocked up and falls off the deck into the water.
Called it.
You also take 17 damage from the explosion, and everyone else but Bodo takes half.
Well, somebody better jump in and save me because I'm unconscious.
And drowning.
And drowning.
Yes, you'll have to do his touch armor class. No, you won't. He's falling in the water. You won't be able to propel your grappling hook through the water to grab him.
I'm going to turn towards Sergeant. Hey, you need to get him.
All right.
I have way too much armor. There will be no swimming for me.
Jump in the water. Grab a till.
Give me a swim check. I don't really like water. I try and avoid it.
I don't like water either.
Yeah. So you dive in again like a fish right into the water. Make a strength check, DC 12. If you can manage that you can grab and sustain yourself above water. And you reach down, and with a swift kick of like your torso and undulation of your arms, you're able to pull both you and Till to the surface and keep his head above water, and successfully make it back to shore. And the door's open.
Way to go, guys.
Hold that thought, Till. All right.
No, I got him.
I got it. I got it. Or one of my characters, cure mod, throat. You want to roll it for yourself?
He's unconscious.
Yeah, I can't do it. I'm a drooling mess right now.
Hope the dice gods love you.
Whatever. Guess be conscious again. Yeah, that would be nice.
Trap?
I thought how many times I was gonna ask. For sure, it was gonna clue you in.
I was expecting roll for initiative, which I'm glad that wasn't exactly that.
I wasn't expecting a damn thing. I was patting myself on the back for my ingenuity, and then I got my ass knocked off the dock into the water.
It's better than your sword being stuck in the ground.
Don't get them.
Yeah, apparently I'm easier to get out of things than my sword is. We're working on that, goddammit.
Baby stuff.
Right?
Baby stuff.
Oh, Steve.
Get the hell out of here. I'm sick of pirates. I'm sick of water. Get me back on the land.
Also, quick check. Are you guys keeping track of the charges on your respective ones?
I know. I'm keeping track of my cure light wounds on.
How many do you have?
I'm at 37 of 48.
Okay. I was just double checking because it's a personal thing with wands or anything with charges that if they're irresponsibly used, then there are consequences.
Yeah. You never told me how many charges were on my invisibility ring, so I'm just going to assume it's empty.
You're right. Uh-huh.
Into the ship.
Yeah.
I wouldn't waste it.
Guard dog on the ship. There's always something on the ship. This is gonna
If
turn
there's something on the ship,
tasty
we'll
in
just run
5
out.
seconds.
We'll come out here and then heal them up. Go back in. I'm just thinking the quicker we secure the boat, the quicker we long rest, and the quicker we quit wasting useful items. Yeah,
Well, that's the longest rest you could take, I think.
that was close, Bobby.
Shut up.
Just need to shift that.
Yeah, so rather get too in depth because I've got a map for the ship. But as you do a quick investigation, it's silent. It looked as if the only trap was on the door when it's being shut and locked. So the ship is surprisingly devoid. You're not quite sure what is missing, but the ship itself looks almost cavernous, as if there's space for a lot of stuff. But at present, there's not a lot of stuff occupying said space.
So what you're saying is it's bigger on the inside?
Not exactly. It's about as big as you think it would be, but there's a lot more room to move around.
Lots of room for combat.
There's no the music in the background has not changed.
Didn't see the save wheel go down in the right hand corner of the screen.
You didn't see an auto save happen at the bottom right. Right, yeah. No, there's no weird ammo stash or plenty of food pre-cooked, just chilling.
Are there any pots to smash?
Yeah, and lots of long grass and weird clumps.
Is there a chicken?
Stay away from the chicken. Yeah, like I said, taking a quick look through the inside, it's completely devoid of life. There's nothing in or around the interior of the ship. The only thing that you come away with on searching the ship is the fact that it's, like I said, it's just got a bunch of room. I've already got the map kind of pre-built, but it's got stuff on it that it's not that I don't want you to see. It's just not meant for you right yet. So, theater of the mind. It's empty, very empty.
Too empty.
Hey, you said that, not me. Maybe.
Yeah, so maybe there's like a captain around here or something.
Nah.
Yes, fetch the captain from the U-Haul storage. I'm not sure how they got it in here, much less how we're going to get it out.
Hey, quick side note. There was a distinct chance that you could have brought Dead Sails up with you and allowed him to open the door, and it could have killed him, and then you were not a captain. So I was like, I really hope that doesn't happen. But yeah, we successfully navigated that one. So no, oh God, no, you got. Well, this was all put in mind with Scott involved. Magic guy. So with him now not involved, you guys would be way up shit's creek. I knew you were going to say that. I am the captain now. Alrighty. One moment. I will bring the captain to you.
Do we have to tip you for delivering?
It was included in the online order.
Oh, fantastic.
So you watch Bodo walk away, and as he returns, he has Captain Deadsails, his first mate, and the crew's midshipman with him. I imagine you, when you were downstairs, Bodo, you kind of got him the gist and wanted to take a look himself. So as soon as they see the ship, you see their eyes alight in what looks like wonderment, and then their jaws visibly open in a sound almost. The jaws almost make a sound when they hit the ground, seeing the cove that the ship is in. They start muttering amongst themselves, and you get snippets of "That's impossible. How did the ship get in here? Is this really the greedy siren?" So on. Imagine if you're not, or you want to communicate. They're like, if unabated, they're just going to walk onto the ship and start looking around. The captain kind of turns and nonchalant. And it's like, you see those riggings? You see those sails? Those haven't been unfurled or stretched in who knows how long. They could be damaged, but clearly they weren't used to get the ship in here. There's no way it could have made that turn. As you're kind of implying the use of magic, his first hand turns and visibly spits on the ground in a show of disgust. Magic has no place on the open sea.
You okay, buddy?
And with that, he kind of, and Umberly taken. And with a second, like, hawk spits back on the ground. Umberly is also known as the Bitch Queen, or the Queen of the Sea, an evil entity. It's something you would know is kind of around seafaring places. She is known to just, basically steal sailors' souls by, capsizing boats and taking their lives. She is feared more than she is revered. He said, we'll give her a good once over. We'll report back what we find." And with that, they make their way across the gangplank onto the ship. After a few moments, the Captain Deadsails bursts us out from the door, almost flamboyantly, but clearly flustered. He's like, "It's impossible. It's impossible." The rigging, the masts, everything required to sail this in the way that I know how is impossible. It hasn't been used. The ship is in disarray. The masts are rotten. The sails, who knows what they look like? They don't have ropes to unfurl them. There's nothing that I can do to make this seaworthy.
Leo's gonna pipe up. Well, what happened to the ship we came in on?
With that, the captain turns and with almost like a light bulb goes off in his head and says, "While the mast and most of the rigging was broken, there might still be some salvageable pieces there. I don't know if it'll be enough, but it's a start. I'll get my crew on it. But I imagine with the damage that was done to the falling star, and with that, he kind of laments for a second, now letting it sink in that his ship was destroyed. So now that we're salvaging her for parts, it may take some time. We won't know until we actually start digging around." I can't imagine, and he says, he's like, I can't imagine that you want to be stuck here any longer than me or my boys. However, I won't be able to tell you until I look at my ship. Look at my old ship.
Yeah. Well, we can look for another way.
You had 12 days total. You spent 2 of them in Selgon, preparing to leave. You were on the open sea for 3 days. There's still 3 more days until you, or at least from where you are now, to Starmantle. And it's a 2-day journey from Starmantle, so you have plus or minus 2 days.
Yeah, I hope so too.
So you're gonna tell him to what are you talking? He's he's kind of looking at you quizzically as the group is having a conversation as to direction. He is clearly going to follow your instruction. He's indebted to you in more ways than one, so he's yours to do with as you please.
Well, we all got to get out of here one way or the other. This has to get done. Who's got the best detect magic in the party?
With that, he kind of turns and says, I've heard enough of your timeline. We'll get it done. We'll get it done as fast as we can, and we'll get it done right. He kind of comes over and he puts his hands on his hips and glares at you. I'm your only chance of getting off this rock, so please show me some respect. With that, you see not only him nod, but the 2 sailors flanking him, even at a distance, were eavesdropping, and they kind of nod in agreement as well. With a quick, curt turn and nod of his head, Captain Deadsails, the other 2 sailors, step away and start moving at a quick clip back down the gangplank, and back into the cavern. Once they're out of earshot, he turns and he looks and says, I must be blunt. I'm not sure if we can get this ship out of here, even if we fix the rigging. I'm not sure how we got it in here, but it's going to require a monumental effort to back her up and get her out. I'm not sure that if we unfurl the sails, that she'll be able to withstand, the mast will be able to withstand the pressure of the reverse wind. All the damage is done to the back where it's been dry rotted, as it's not been moved in that direction. I'm not sure how we got it in here, but if you could figure that out, we might have a way of egress. Mm-hmm.
As you have the bag of holding, or I assume you or Damien grabbed it.
As you kind of wave it about, he moves closer to to inspect it, but as he realizes the intricate nature as well as the glyphs, he slowly kind of stands back, almost as if a foul smell has come into the room. He said, while I don't find myself to be a superstitious man, I tend to agree that magic isn't generally welcomed on my ships. Neither myself nor my crew know how to or would want to have anything to do with that. First we lost Jeff.
Yeah, he dropped out of the Discord channel.
I sent him a message, but I haven't got a response.
His net probably dropped. We are so interesting to watch.
What are you trying to? Oh, okay. Are you trying to persuade him, or are you trying to intimidate him? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Sure. Give me a persuasion check. Oh, I'm sorry, diplomacy check. Diplomacy. Yeah. Getting confused with additions. With that, he starts to reach for it, and again stops short. He said, "If that was the only way to keep us alive, and you could promise that using that would get us all out of here safely, I might be inclined. But if you start waving that thing around on a ship full of sailors, we're liable to have mutiny before too long." Give me a spellcraft check. Because use magic device would not give you the understanding of how to use this thing. Even as you're saying it, you notice your eyes darting down to it in almost kind of wonderment, and your voice does nothing to hide the fact that you really don't know how to use this. Perhaps given more time, you might be able to learn its function, but with assistance, learn how to use it. But it's beyond your skill set. He kind of looks at the ship, and for the first time, is taking in the beauty of her construction. She's big, significantly larger than the Falling Star, where the Falling Star was more of a schooner a small frigate. This is a warship. This is not quite a galleon, but it's close. And he starts taking it in. As he looks at it, I really hope that you're not, especially being new to this, aren't pinning our hopes of escape on a prayer. I said we should also plan and try and think of a way to get out of here, the old-fashioned way. I have an idea, I think, as he starts eyeballing the exit to the cove, on how to get her out of here. If your very large friend back there would be willing to help, as he kind of nods his head to Sergeant. But as he looks back, he said that's also going to require manpower. I've got all of my men refitting the ship, but I'm not sure how I'm going to make any of the rest of this happen quickly, as you're so inclined to move.
Sergeant seeing that both of them looking at, obviously not knowing what's going on, he nods at both of them.
With a turn of his shoulder, Captain Deadsails points to this end of the cove and this end of the cove. He says, you see up there at the top of those ridges, those 2 points. If we can secure rope to both of those and loop around and pull them back to shore, if we anchor one side to her big ass, we should be able to pull and right her out. He looks down at the dock. He says, I think her turning around is going to destroy this dock. And with a smile, he says, and I think I'm okay with that. It's going to require 2 people to stay, one on either side.
Well, I guess that means me. I'll walk it.
Yeah, you can get up to the north side here, walking around the rest of this gangplank here. Here, let me review.
I'll talk to all the I want, and I'll take free candy.
And the other side, while there's a bit more of a steep rise here, it should be easily assailable for Sergeant. I will need climb checks from both of you.
Yeah, I kind of figured that was coming.
I'll allow you to take 10 to take your time. You could take 20, but that's going to take forever. So it depends on how fast you want to move.
I mean, I assume it's going to take him a little while to get everything else ready. So.
This is literally just. I'm sorry. Before you climb, he's going to motion for you to anchor it to. Anchor the rope to the sergeant for you to do it here, for you to do it here, and by pulling against these, it should back the ship out.
Okay.
You'll also need to find this rope.
I assume pulling it down from the riggings of the ship, if there's any good rope there.
There actually isn't. Part of that conversation was the rigging that is generally present is missing.
Oh, I didn't know if it was all gone. Okay.
There's still some rigging that's keeping the sails furled,
Yeah.
but it's
That's
not
long enough.
attached to the deck.
Are there other ships, like remnants of other ships somewhere down here?
You haven't seen any.
I mean, one would think they couldn't just dispose of all that material. Is there a storeroom
They
I missed or
did
something?
move a ship against its will. Odds are they could move it back out.
Well, I mean, if somebody wants to go reconnoiter the beach, see if there's anything out there that might be useful. Otherwise, we're probably just gonna have to use rope.
You saw as you came in that this is basically a spire of stone that's sticking out of the water. It's all rocky outcropping, and even the beach that you see here is little more than dirt on top of hard stone.
Gotcha. Well, I guess we're just gonna have to use some of the rigging from the Falling Star. Unless there's rope in the hold somewhere that we didn't see. Perhaps we should investigate the ship further.
I meant to say before you left, you go kind of looking, and you get the same odd sensation that there's more. It's not that there's more space; it's just empty. Then it kind of clicks. When you were on the Falling Star twice before, the interior of the ship was full of goods, rope, food, rigging, sails, material, and none of that is present. None of the things that you would recognize as being required to maintain a ship are anywhere, which leaves a incredible amount of room for nothing. It's more as if he didn't need it.
Yeah, when you got a mage tagging around with you being like, hey, levitate my ship this way, let's go. It's,
And it saves space for other things, like loot.
Yeah.
Saves weight against the spell, too. Makes the ship lighter. I have no rope.
Now, 50 feet ain't gonna traverse that. Well, actually, it might. No.
25 feet. And
I mean, this is
30
not
feet.
to scale, obviously. But, yeah.
I mean, I only have one skill to go by, and that's the boxes, so...
No, that's what I'm saying. That would mean that the boat's only, 15, 20 feet across? That's not very big.
Yeah, it's the boat itself is about 40 feet across. Like, it's a warship. It's a big one. So I'll say that you'll need, in order to affect what Dead Sails is trying to accomplish, you're going to need about 500 feet.
That's about
right. You will. However, then it will not be able to be used readily for the masts.
Well, I mean, all we need to do is pull it, and then I can dislodge it from wherever it is on my end, and they can pull it back.
Yeah, I mean, you could straighten it out, but then you'd have to bring the rope back, cut it to size, use it for the rigging to be able to control the sails, to then be able to go. Which isn't
I say one problem at a time.
I'm
right
just,
now.
I've just gotta. It just depends on how many more rolls I'm gonna make. Dun dun dun.
Can you find rope?
Quiet.
Yes. Can you find enough rope? No. Go fuck yourself.
No, you can find enough rope. Yeah, no, I mean, and that's the thing. They're going to be bringing all the supplies. In fact, as you're kind of sizing things up, building a plan of action on how you're going to proceed. You see more sailors that you recognize from the Falling Star crew, bringing boxes and themselves from the depths, and start amassing on the beach. As they start sorting out, you see lengths of fabric that have been cut expertly, rope that has been coiled and knotted in intervals, that is being piled and inventoried and expertly maneuvered onto the ship. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they you can tell that they're of both the there were also, and I'll just give you the total list. There were two masterwork rapiers and two masterwork daggers as well. Okay, cool.
And I found a small stone, a small vial, and 2 scrolls.
Yep. You can tell that all of them are of masterwork condition. Like, they are not run-of-the-mill average weapons or the ring or the belt. And it clearly looks as if the ring and the belt have magical markers on them, things that you would recognize as magical attunements, essentially, but to their end, kind of amiss. It would require a spellcraft check for each one to be able to determine where like the triggers are. For something that's the best way for you would be identify, right? If you had a scroll or a wand of it, you could learn it, or you could have someone do the same and then tell you about it. But there's no real way for you to discern it. You're not familiar, as unfamiliar as you are with magic. You're even less familiar with the construction of items based with magic.
Not right now. There's a lot of stuff that needs to happen after a long rest. I do want to look at my scrolls, Willie.
Also, for all intents and purposes, you have not dinged yet. That for future reference, like you leave your character sheets there. It's not anything to freaking. And this is something I meant to implement. But it will be an event. That triggers it. So, like we'll keep it as it is. But like I said, so you won't have access to those higher level spells yet. Or you don't, do you? You get it at even levels. Never mind.
I'm not even sure what we're talking about.
How are you doing, Terry?
No, I was talking. Never mind. We're fine then. We're good.
I just wanted to look at my scrolls.
Yeah, go for it. Check them out.
Yeah, just gonna pull them out. Are they? What do I need to roll to look at them?
No, you look at them, but you can tell by the script that they are not divine in writing. That is generally done with long flowing letters, whereas these are hard, sharp characters, which are indicative of arcane magic. So while you understand what they are, they do not reveal their purpose.
Cast read magic. And just while they're working on this rope situation,
on behalf of
start trying to decipher one of
Forge, thanks for the follow, Terry.
You can tell immediately on reading them that they are instructions on how to cast. Hold on, I'm pulling my. They're farther from my notes. I got them lost somewhere. It's a scroll of suggestion and a scroll of shield.
Okay.
and you also recognize that these scrolls were written by a person of immense magical understanding.
Alrighty.
Yeah, this map is
After
freaking
the
baller.
scrolls, I'm just gonna
Looks
put
so
those
good.
up, and I got that I found a small stone. I don't remember what that was.
It was the stone that was floating around the head of the mage that you
And yeah,
killed.
this is definitely not
Oh, that's
Shroud.
right.
This
Yeah,
is
that's
all
something.
homebrew
Alright, the
3.5
vial and stone
campaign
I'll work on later.
that Willie has come up with.
I want them to continue this rope situation. I just want to make sure that the scrolls weren't something that could help us.
So if you guys want to, while we're looking through your inventory, I'm going to take a quick 5. Steph is going to be coming back inside here in just a moment.
Cool beans.
Cool. Do it. We'll just say 8:58.
All right.
Rock on.
All right, guys, we're gonna take a quick break, real quick. I'm gonna grab stuff. We'll continue and try to see if we can get the boat the hell out of the harbor and get back to our actual objective. We'll see y'all in a few.
Did we ding last round or something? Is that why he was saying that?
Yes. No, apparently.
Phrasing?
I'm back.
I'm here.
Fantastic.
Also,
Even more fantastic.
ow. Oh. It's weather.
Looks like we're just waiting on Willie at this point, so be patient for us. Be back shortly.
All right, I'm back. Sorry.
Space.
Yep, with looks on my face.
Fantastic.
Terrified.
Yeah. So the crew gets to work, reassembling the ship, and you affix the rope. Did I get climb checks from you guys?
You said it'd take 10 if it was going to be.
Yeah, you absolutely can.
Yeah,
You can take 22 if you want to take longer than 30 minutes.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I assume this could take hours to do this whole thing, but, you know.
Like I say, it's as fast as you want to do it.
I'll take 10. I'll go get up there in reasonable time. I'll find some rocks to throw into the water, you know.
Right, skip some stones. Yeah, there's plenty of rope to be brought up. You know, again, I was under the impression that you guys were trying to like hustle, but if you want to do it slow, do it smooth, do it fast like that, then you've got plenty of equipment to do everything you need to do. All right, doing it slow, making sure everything's done from you guys is going to take about 2 hours. It is definitely like pitch. It's definitely somewhere in the middle of the night, but again, like waxing, waning towards the dawn, it's difficult to tell. You've been underground for a while. You see, they are almost smiling. They had very clearly escaped what they already had accepted to be a doomed fate, and now that they're getting a bigger ship out of the whole thing, and they're getting ready to try and get out of here, they are very excited. They're also using their almost military-like efficiency. Like, they've done this specific, like, loading and unloading of a ship many times and are very good at it.
Dope. I don't care what anybody says, that boiling mud was awesome.
Am I the only one here? Oh, I mean, I'm sorry, Zorn and Damien here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I'm just dying right
Also,
now.
I think Loki's actually dying right now because he just posted a picture of himself in the hospital.
I was alright.
And of course, I wouldn't be his friend if I didn't take the piss out of him as soon as I saw the picture.
you're not gonna. He does look like he's dying.
You know, according to what Sarah told me, he's got, like, sepsis or something of that sort. And I'm not sure how he ends up with that, aside from having a terrible infection. But, yeah.
Back to the.
Yeah, are we getting in our positions and doing this?
I mean, I'm just walking over there. Somebody told me I had to come back and do other things, so...
I have no dog in this fight, so this is all up to y'all.
I'm gonna roll a 1 on this strength check and go tumbling down the cliff into the water. Just preparing you guys.
Well, good thing Sergeant's on the other side. Just dive off and grab you.
Already established. I can.
Yeah.
Turns out I can swim. Yeah, so as you get to the top of the cliffs, the portion that you mentioned are vertical juts of rock that you can tie the rope and almost a pulley around, and in effect use it as a pivot point. You realize that you'll now have to carry the other end and bring it down towards the beach, where you can use the collective manpower of everyone in here, including Sergeant, to help pull the two ropes.
My favorite part of this campaign is the fact that
inside the right timing.
I'm a rogue
to pull the back end without
10 charisma,
scraping against the rocks.
And I'm the party face.
Yeah,
Because nobody else wanted to do it. I'm a really bad party face.
I almost say we should get.
It's almost like you have a seasoned crew and a captain.
I almost say we should get a couple more guys here, lash something to the ship here, pull it this way first. Then, as we try to pull this way, it will bring the nose around, and it'll probably actually give us more room to maneuver the back end down here.
Well, the captain seems pretty confident. Him and his crew can handle it. He just seems like he needed enough strength to be able to pull this side hard enough.
Gotcha. Sun's out, guns out. Let's do it.
My rogue is shaping up to something awesome. He's delving into using magic items now, because we lost our caster, unfortunately. His brain was devoured. It was really
All
bad.
right. So yeah, you
But
can
yeah, I'm the only
just
person that
come
can
back down
even
with the
really
ends of
cast
the rope,
spells except for a cleric now.
and
So
begin
I'm now using a wand of
dislodging
fireball as well as
the greedy siren. as
ring
soon
of
as you're ready.
dimensional door and all this other shit that I'm getting all into. It's really fun. So much more versatility in like 3.5 5e magic item.
Zorn.
Yeah.
Yes. You guys gonna move on to the beach and help out, or are you just gonna stay on the ship?
Oh, I thought they were having the crew help out.
Yeah, this is
Oh, that's where it's
3.5.
supposed
This
to
is the
be.
only game I play in
All hands
this
on deck.
edition.
Kind of
Everything
thing.
else is
Except
5e.
the captain. The captain's staying. on
But
the ship.
Willie didn't want to DM anything in 5e, so he hadn't quite learned it when we first started this campaign. But he's a player in a
Bodo,
couple of my
you
games
hanging out
now.
on the dock.
Yeah. But
Well, I mean, I probably just don't want to be on the dock that's about to be destroyed when you move this thing. Just throw that out there. Just running across the top of like broken planks, like oh, hey, that was, hey, I forgot about that. I gotta warn a halfling. You're not gonna grab a hold of the rope.
I'm gonna be.
What were you saying, Damien? Sorry.
I'm gonna position myself at the end of the last person.
The end of the rope. So all of the sailors are actually lining up, to take on the rope adjacent to yours. They're essentially leaving the other rope on the ground for you.
Oh, all right.
And
so I got my own.
The rest of you, they're not getting in your way. That one's your rope.
All right, fine. It's my rope.
Out of curiosity, what is your push, pull, drag weight for your strength? You just look at the carrying capacity table, or I can. You can just tell me what your strength is.
Right now, my 17. I mean, if we need more fight.
Do you think you could provide some more, or are you kind of light in the trousers?
You know, that feels like a personal attack, sir.
It should feel kind of personal. Get you mad.
About your trousers. Yeah, as a hint, he's always angry.
By the way, one of our party is, I guess, a werebear
What's
who
your
has
what's
just
your strength at?
stupid high strength scores.
33?
Yeah, he's 33 now. Yep.
33. That's past the extended scale, which is good. Your light load is 696 pounds.
now go all the way back up and tell me.
Oh,
what-
I'm sorry.
I haven't-
You move up a size category, which means that doubles. So
A werebear that can apparently push or pull over 1,200 pounds by himself.
your heavy load is 1,600 pounds times 2.
So a ton and a half.
So that means you're. That's silly.
Means he could. No, not really.
Can I go get back on the boat now?
Full drag is times 4.
Yeah.
you worry the logistics of how you pick it up. You know, you're gonna crush the boat. Like it's gonna be too heavy. But you could.
Yeah, because think of that
you
force
could-
being applied in two very small areas on a.
If you could figure out a way to get leverage on that dock, you could just put your shoulder into it and push that boat right out of the dock. Just.
Could he do
Excuse
that?
me.
Could he do that with all the crew members on board?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going back to the boat where I'm no longer needed. My 10.
Yeah, I didn't really get a good scale. You're gonna pull that rope. The boat's gonna move so hard and violently, it's gonna pull all the other sailors off their feet. like tug of war against two cliffs, a frigate, and 30 veteran sailors. I'll take that.
No, it's
I'll let them get started.
How about this? I'll feed him the line and take the slack up, and then be like, "All right, go."
Yeah, so the captain starts barking instructions, and he turns and looks as you've got it, and just says, "Pull when ready, big man."
All right. It's on 3.
Yep.
Eins, zwei, drei.
Give me the strength roll, strength check. Just raw strength. That's silly. That's an 11. So yeah, as you pull, the back end of the ship starts righting itself and aligning with the exit to the cove. But the prow of the ship, as it violently turns around, is like snapped around. All of the dock, everything here is brutally destroyed. Splintered as it straightens out. Everything except the very end here where the actual prow doesn't touch as it straightens out. But you hear a large cheer erupt from the crew as they begin diving in, as they begin diving into the water and swimming towards their new ship.
Zor needs to make a reflex save.
It's a big ship. Yeah, he didn't expressly say he was leaning over the edge. Someone give him the benefit.
No, I placed myself directly in the middle, so that when I fell down, I didn't go overboard. Y'all keep
give me a
forgetting that I
balance
can't.
check.
I'm in armor right now.
Give me a reflex save. Give me a reflex save.
Okay.
As a almost comical Three Stooges, whoop, 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 your feet go out from underneath you as the ship shifts violently under your feet.
Excellent.
I'm going to on my back, put my hands under my head, kind of cross my ankles, and look up at the sky.
Hey, you're already down.
Well,
Can't fall no further. Are you interlocking your fingers? Or are you putting one hand on top of the other?
Yeah.
Oh, half orc
Fair
werebear,
enough.
because just a werebear by itself is not
This
terrifying
is how I'll
enough.
remain until they
all
find
the,
me on the boat like this.
Characters so stupid.
All the other sailors dive off and start swimming to the boat and climbing up and raising outstretched hands once they've gotten up to help their fellows jump aboard as well. Yeah, I imagine it's close enough that without swimming, you could lazily kind of spring from the shore to some of the rigging, the impromptu rigging that's been laid on the side.
Yeah, but all that rigging's rotten. Reflex save.
He's little and light. I'm curious more so what Till here. He's thinking he's getting on the ship.
Well, I was actually going to walk over here and wait until the ship kind of passed in some kind of even with the cliff face and kind of hop on.
I like it. Yeah, you can do that easily. It's going to be almost directly underneath you, like a straight fall.
Yep.
You make a loud thud as you hit the deck. And then Sergeant, in bear form, you could basically just reach 1 foot up onto the deck and stand on it, like real high. Like you put both hands on it, and have to like kind of struggle to get your 1 foot high up enough, and just lift yourself over. Oh, it definitely would list for sure. He's not so much pulling himself up onto the boat as he is pulling the boat down to him to stand up in it. Yeah, but as he stands up, as he gets in, he immediately steps over to the other side to immediately balance it out. So rather than it rocking back and forth, he's basically straddling the center of gravity, making it stop.
How thoughtful.
You're welcome.
So group assemble. I don't know if I have your tokens on the next map. Yeah. See, right? Cat people all over, and no more bear form for you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, the left, the bottom, the center is the arms deck with a quartermaster. The third from the left is the deck itself, and the far right is the crow's nest, and like kind of a top-down view of the ship.
Stern in the bow.
Yeah. I'd see, and I know I'm going to get all sorts of nonsense from you, Bobby, as long as we're on this ship, because you like naval stuff, and I hate it. I'm like, fine. Yeah, here we go. You're going to correct me 100 times, and I'm going to try and not drown you.
You can do what you will.
You should have played Sea of Thieves with him.
Sorry. Yeah, how many water leaks do we have?
So as the rope is being as you pulled it off, the sailors actually behind you pulled it back onto the top of the ship, and aligned it side to side, and have lined up and begin doing a peel. As they start to pull, one will peel off until they're pulling closer and closer, and they actually gain a little bit of steam. As they do so, the captain expertly backs the ship out, and as the ship starts to list lazily on what is very little current, the sailors begin their work. Taking the new rigging, they begin unfurling and attaching the sails, and within moments, the sails, albeit full of holes, start to pull forward. Systematically, the sailors begin to furl and unfurl other sails, all the while maintaining forward momentum to keep the ship moving. They begin to climb the rigging and make repairs, as far as sewing patches into the sails, and doing all of it while on the move, which is not only difficult, it's nigh impossible. But yet here they are doing it. They're moving around again, not with a sense of joy that you didn't sense before. And if their kind of mechanical movements weren't already dazzlingly fast to the uninitiated, they seem to be a blur. You find yourselves now, most of the repairs have been made or are currently being made, and you are now making what feels like arduous, slow crawling time. While you're moving, you are not moving quickly. you immediately realize as you're looking around and watching ever so slowly the pirate isles fade into the distance, you realize that this vessel is nowhere near the same speed as the falling star.
Well, overcome one problem, find another one. I'm gonna go lay down. Because, yeah, I need hit points.
Well, first, as he goes to lay down, this room here, which is normally the set of quarters for the first mate and some of the crew, are actually yours. He'll wave and say they've been prepared as best we could, but those are yours. So you're right.
I
You're
figured
top
that was
deck.
the captain's quarters.
The captain's quarters is going to be repurposed back here for him, but that's for you. He's basically saying like this is your ship.
Either way.
As you start talking, he just kind of not cuts you off, lets you finish, but says like, I know, I understand. We don't have nearly the supplies to refit her to get her to move as fast as she can. She hasn't sailed like this in some time. Is in need of some serious repair. I dare not move much faster. No worries, we'll still get there. It's just going to take us a full extra day. Assuming she holds together that long. He's like, he kind of looks around. He's like, she's a magnificent vessel, but I don't know how she stayed afloat this long. You get a point of inspiration for that.
Yeah, we're to hurry up and wait mode now. I'm going to join Till, and Leo is going to go rest.
Correct. I want you guys to know that it is literally going. It should be an act of wonderment that these guys are going to sail this boat at night with a moonless sky. Like it's a sliver. It's not quite suicide, but even with these guys being veterans, that this should be all right. We're yeah, not. I don't know. It's not. I don't want you guys to be fearful, right? I just wanted to be like, all right, we are really dancing the edge here. Yeah. Yeah, that too. Right, man, all right. After all that, we might still be able to do it. Holy shit. Right. Correct. Until you arrive in Star Mantle. Yeah, no, it's if there's any more of an RP moment, but yeah, there's really nothing to do per se, so we can advance whenever you're ready. Depends on what kind of magic you're practicing. Like I said, like it depends on what's going on. Oh, that's just a matter of hiding. That's a skill thing. You know what I mean? Like you're pretty sneaky even when you're not trying to be. So I imagine if you don't want to be observed using it, and you're also targeting a spot that's not being observed, that you could do so pretty easily.
Can you
without
hear me,
being seen.
Terry?
Damn it.
The mechanically the ring and belt, no. It needs to be identified before you can use it. You can put it on, and if there are inherent benefits, then you gain them. And that's something I keep track of. But if there's anything that needs to be activated, you can't. I appreciate it.
Did not mean to draw that.
You can hear everybody, right, Terry?
Flippy floppies. Okay. Anybody else have a Bobby? Do you have anything that you want to do?
I want to rest for as
Okay.
long as possible because I need hit points, like you read about.
Like you read about. So I also something I take under assumption is if there is an extended rest, because in 3.5,
Yeah, I've got a
you
mute
don't
on and off for
gain
myself
hit
just
points
because
very
there's
quickly.
ambient noise back
Naturally,
behind me, so I don't want to make y'all suffer
it's
through
something that
that.
needs to be done magically. So
But
because
if
you have
Discord's going
someone
off,
that
then
has the
let me know
ability to
because I don't know
heal,
why
I
it would be.
imagine that
Should be all included.
while resting,
Okay, cool. Thank you, Terry.
Like Zorn, you use all of your available spells to focus on healing and recovery, and do so as much as possible. So within 2 rests, you would have everyone healed and have the spells that you want.
All right. I gotcha.
And that's with any time that you guys rest. And it's always 2 days or more. Like if you have time, then that's like you can cycle through all of your spells 3 times, which is more than enough to heal everybody.
All right.
Correct. Just kind of limping along, like, yeah, I'm not going to do a whole lot of heavy lifting right now. The explosion goes off. Sorry, guys. Oh, that hurt. Oh. Yeah. So you want to rest, Zorn?
The only thing I have is resting, healing everyone up, obviously, and then need to spend one of the days communing with my god off in the storage room by myself. And then I want to use detect magic for as much time as I can to figure out as much as I can about that stone and anything, if at all possible, about that potion I have.
Okay.
And the Havoc stuff he needs.
You are going to exit your armor, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Just
yeah.
again,
I'm going to be doing that before I take a rest.
I don't want a second anchor walking around on top of the ship. And then okay, and then Damien.
Also rest and then pray to my god as well.
Yeah.
If I can find a quiet place on the boat, I will. If not, then I'll do it where we're in our.
You got your own quarters. I mean, that's where you guys would be. If you're not topside. These guys are efficient working crew. Like, you could look around, but they're not going to be. It's not that unkind. They're super grateful, but they'd be annoyed. They're professionals. Please don't be in my space. I'm working. Now I'm making this POS float. So if you don't mind. But yeah. Perfect. So we'll go back to Taboto. Through trial through the next day, while you're traveling, you find that your Ring of Dimension door has 3 uses before it needs to be recharged. And now that you're attuned to it, now you feel 3 distinct, it almost feels like bumps under your finger. And as you activate it, one of them will recede until there's none left, as a reminder to how many you actually have. Yeah, it's a dawn of the next day as the sun rises. Bobby, you rest. Zoran, give me a rundown again of what you want to know about. Community, sure.
Yeah, and then it was the small stone that was circling around her head that we grabbed. Want to figure out.
You also realize this. It's an arcane implement, but you recognize some of the facets. You realize it can actually store spells.
Do I learn anything about like how it's used? How
As
she
far
was
as
floating it around her head?
Yeah, you realize it has an activation function, and while you can see some glyphs that have been inscribed into it, it's very much of an arcane school, something that doesn't quite make sense. Can't
Right,
figure
so
it
I
out.
need someone to look at it for me.
Yep.
And then the other thing was a small vial.
Yeah, you recognize it as a magical potion, but what you can't quite tell. With detect magic, you can tell it's from the school of transmutation.
All right, wonderful. I think that was everything else I needed.
Yeah, the belt
and then
is also a ring of. It has the school of transmutation, and the ring is of divination.
I'll explain as much as I can about that to Bodo. Tell him I don't know much more. We'll have to look into it further later.
I'm sorry, did I say not divination? Illusion. I'm sorry. But yeah, no. It's I could explain, but I can't. So yes, you're correct. Yep. But as the first day draws to a close and night falls, you notice now as night falls that the sun or that the moon is the Saloon isn't full. It's the first of the cycle, but it is eerie as night falls and your ship continues to sail. That it is pitch black, and as night settles and is most at its deepest, the wind slowly halts.
Here
and time feels
comes
as
the
if it stops,
god.
and
Oh,
mask
look
appears in
who's
your
coming.
foot. So you, and points directly to you, Till, that I expect updates.
I'm sorry, have you not been getting my messages?
Oh, how long were you going to wait to inform me that you were abducted and so far behind schedule now? I'm afraid that you might never be able to make up the ground.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was a little busy helping my friends here kill the people who took us captive. It slipped my mind.
Enough with your insolent tone. You're sent to do a mission, and I
He'll talk
expect
so
results.
much shit to this
Trying to
god.
get it
He's gonna
done.
get killed at some point.
Leo's just gonna kind of step away from Till, just like 5 feet.
Everyone, but Till, feels an immense wave of dread. Again, is infinitesimal against the abyss that they're now feeling. Till you feel more of his human side, the avatar that stands in front of you. You see the same into his eyes, but now it's understandable. That while you understand that he's a god, he's here, he's tangible. He's not just, you might be able to make him bleed. And he recognizes that as well. And with that, he stands up and kind of straightens his jacket, and his leathers. He says, well, we can't have you being late. There's still work to be done. With that, he turns and points directly at Leo and says, are you planning on communicating with your mistress?
My mistress?
With that, he just opens his hand in front of you, and the holy symbol around your neck, like a magnet, comes snapping out at length in front of you. He said, yes, your mistress.
I was planning on it.
Yeah, if this dude could just help us
We
out,
can't
that'd
be
be
having that.
dope. But he
I will
doesn't
give
do a
you
lot for being a
everything
god.
you seek and more through me if you abandon her.
Ooh.
I do your bidding now, Mask, but I will not abandon my god.
Said, if you do not, we have problems.
What further problems could we have?
He just told a god that he wasn't gonna worship him.
Things have gotten more complicated. I've felt her presence pulling somewhere on these strings, and I've yet to figure out what her game is. You're either with me or against me.
Well, right now I stand with you. What happens afterwards is between you and her.
Now is a time for commitment. Are you in or are you out?
I'm in. Under the guidance of my own god.
God, we're about to lose another party member. Oh
Yeah,
god.
so, with that, he snarls visibly, and steps back and releases your pendant from his grasp. Said, fine. Things are just going to be different then. You will not get any assistance from me from this point forward. And when you're finished, I will take what I need, and that will be the end of it. And with that, he turns turns to Bodo. You feel this wave of dread. In fact, it's never stopped for any of you. Almost as if you feel like you're falling, and it's just not ending. Your stomach way up in your chest. He motions you. When the time comes, do what is necessary. And as he turns and looks to you, Sergeant, he just nods in a courteous kind of, head tilt. as if words were passing between two people without anything being said. And
Mass is
in
gonna
a
have me
small,
kill one of my
subtle
teammates or
gesture,
something.
he
And
bows
Bodo's just not
and
about that
vanishes.
life.
And time begins again.
I'm going to immediately go and pick up my holy symbol and reaffix it to myself.
It was just like outside the arm, or your clothes, just dangling out in front. You get this sensation he was annoyed.
I'm gonna kind of straighten my shirt. Good old Picard maneuver. Just kind of shake my head. I'm gonna shoot Bodo a side eye. He asked me if I was all in. I told him. Now he's questioning me. Don't appreciate it. And I don't give a damn if he's a god or not. I'm gonna let him know. Then it will have been my choice. And in the end, that's what matters to me.
Oh, yeah. The Cyric died. Not a dude. No,
Not a dude anymore?
No. Still Mad God, but Avatar is a female.
Okay. I will switch that in my notes.
Sorry. Yeah. Right. We're in the year 11. I think it's like 1170. The DR. In there. Yeah. It is. Well, there's so many alternate timelines. Like. Right. There's a whole bunch of crazy stuff that's happened. Yeah, it's pre-spell plague. Yeah, to give you an idea. The spell plague I don't like, so I played before that. After the Time of Troubles, in there. He could have, feel like, but he absolutely did not.
Sorry. Well, he wanted an answer.
It was the right answer for him.
My mistress is what fuels my abilities to keep you guys alive. Do you still want me to disgrace her? He says one thing. He does others usually. I definitely know enough.
Oh, absolutely. But he hasn't lied to you yet. No, isn't that all truth is, right? That's what you know as far as you know. Yeah, that. Trixie hobbitses. Right. Uh-huh. It's familiar. No, yeah. It's like almost like a hangover. You know, your head just hurts for a second. Takes a second to catch your breath. Like all of a sudden, the room filled back up with oxygen where it had been deprived just a second ago. To everyone except Till. Yeah, very much so.
I think that sword had something to do with it.
You should also, like, again, take it, like, while Mask was upset, he didn't really do anything. Yeah. For us to you, you know, he hasn't done a lot, you know. He seemed to be asking quite a bit, but he seemed to be clearly frustrated, but rather than lash out, chose to walk away.
That's why I keep standing up to him. I'm like, okay, you need us to do this. You need us to do this. We're doing it. Now, we can't do this exactly how you want to do it every single time. We're kind of making things up as we go here. Did we expect to get abducted by pirates?
I'm kind of worried that maybe that wasn't
Alright, change
Mask
plans.
for
Let's
some
kill
reason.
50 things in this cave. Oh, I'm sorry.
Mm.
I forgot to... Time out, guys. Let me go talk to the omnipotent being that's guiding us here and let him know that this just happened. No,
I gotta
wasn't the
talk to
first
this
thing on my mind.
magnificent asshat here. You let him know what's going on.
Yeah, plus he never really responds, so what does it matter?
Yeah, that's what
Right?
I said. Like, you didn't get my pages? Like, what the fuck, dude? What do you want from me? I tell you what we're doing. I don't know if you're getting them or not.
You
Okay,
gotta
well,
plug it in at night. That's the only
Yeah.
way this works.
check your voicemail once in a while. Come on.
Your box is full. You haven't set it up.
What's
like,
up, Scott?
It just
Yeah,
keeps...
this guy's still an asshole, and it's starting to piss us off.
Yeah, that's about how it should feel. It should feel like frustrating.
But as frustrating as it is for
Really
us,
beginning to wonder
it's
when we
also
can
not
just
gonna make it
take on a
frustrating for
god.
him.
That would be dope.
Yeah, you should. You absolutely should. Oh, that is, yeah. It's not like a illusion, somebody playing a trick on you. I mean, he was there. He spoke to you. 100. There's no doubt. Like that's not something you could mistake for anything else. Like
And we just got off the pirate
that is the
island we were
feeling of
stuck on by
eternity.
commandeering and lashing a ship
try-
out of an
try and
impossibly
quantify that.
shell or impossibly like
what that feels
tiny
like to be
cove.
around.
So it was, can we leave yet? Because we wanted to get the hell away from the
Yeah,
stupid
Mr.
island that was
Anderson.
delaying us from getting to our
Photo
place.
Anderson. Mhm. Yeah, correct. That's just trinkets, rings, things like that that the pirates had on them. correct. Yeah, you know where the forest is. It's a fairly here. Yeah. Yeah. So, Gothamere Forest. It is an expanse. It's not small. So the idea is when you get there, you're going to have to find someone who knows this particular spot in the forest that you need to go.
In the forest, it looks like it's 100 miles long.
Yep, that's true. You do. So you need to find somebody that can get you to the Lightless Lake. Yeah. I don't know how much higher your voice is going to get, but yeah. Throw that question mark on there. This is Star Mantle is your home base. Yeah. This is you've got a safe house here. You got a couple. You know what I mean? You've got contacts.
You know some people who know some people who rob some people.
Don't get them started.
Story time.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a great plan of attack.
Sergeant?
Yeah, I'm down.
All right.
What? No. Yes.
Right.
What? That's
For those following along at home, Hazaran is the asshole that brought us all together. He slighted us off in different ways. Bodo being the least amount one, he really just double-crossed me on a deal and pissed me off. He murdered people from the other party, their friends and shit. But we all brought together, and he's the one that's been kind of orchestrating all this in the background.
You know, as the second day's
He's
progressing,
a dick, and he keeps running away from us.
moving into
We
the
know
third
he's
day,
going to be here.
the captain calls for you, sends one of his
we know that he's going to be
sailors
here
meet
and
you in
basically
his
carrying out
quarters.
this ritual to
He wanted to have
become
dinner
more,
and talk.
and we want to put a stop to that.
Yeah, I like dinner.
Sure thing.
Captain Deadsails is inviting you all to dinner in his quarters. No, I mean, well, it's never happened before, but you haven't been with him for
Things
very
have
long.
changed.
Yeah. No, on the contrary, you feel like guests of honor aboard this ship. Yeah, no, that when you like below decks, you know, they're working diligently to keep the ship up and running. But you know, as long as you're not like in the way when you're topside, like they move out of your way. You know, they're give you your space, anything you need. You know, any questions, they're at your service. Yeah. You can be a little bit of a dick, but these guys are professionals. You know what I mean? They're like, all right, he's just he's just taking with us. Right. Oh yeah, for sure. Cool. I guess it's everybody. So yeah, when you enter his quarters, he's got a small, um, display of food. It's not a lot. There wasn't a lot that they had access to, and even what they could gather from the cavern itself wasn't much. It's mostly like prison rations, but one of the gentlemen on board clearly can cook because it smells fantastic. They've got a couple bottles of wine, and a nice table where everyone can fit. And he gestures you down like, sit, please.
Leo will pull up a chair and sit down. Thank you for inviting us, Captain.
You see this chair at the end of the table closest to the captain actually has what look to be a few sets of broken crates that have been stacked up to represent like a high chair. Absolutely. And he kind of chuckles to himself and says, and instead kind of composes himself and says, Master Hobbit. No, sorry. I was thinking somebody said Lord of the Rings. I've been thinking Hobbit. Sorry. Master Halfling. Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yep. Yeah, pull up whatever. See, it looks like it's not gonna.
You guys are quiet. Have to
Fall
coax some every
apart.
once in a while.
No, it's dirty enough to hold you as you are right now. Definitely wouldn't be able to handle a whole lot more. So he gestures to the wine and the food. He said, it's not much, but we'll have to do. He looks around, a full-scale refit whenever we get a chance to dock, which is the reason I wanted us to dine to discuss. I do not think I can bring the Greedy Siren anywhere near Starmantle. Well, I should say anywhere near her docks. He goes on. The closest we can do is turn and head farther east along the coast. There's a couple refit places that I know of that could get her repaired and get her back to being able to sail the seas comfortably, away from larger cities. I have been doing this for some time. However, I don't feel as if the ship is mine. So I ask for direction. You see, this is requiring a lot of like pride swallowing for like the captain. Like he's like really putting himself out here for you guys.
I look over at Bodo and say, I have no need of a ship. As long as he can get us across the sea anytime we need.
We don't need water.
Sails.
Sales, good one. Damn, that's it. He just starts smiling from ear to ear. He's like, anytime, anywhere, you name it. Like he's got a giant shit eating grin. Like this is the exact thing that he was hoping for. Definitely not the DM too. Yeah.
None from me. I'll kind of hold up my glass of wine towards the center of the table.
And with that, he slams his fist on the table and says, "I that," and grabs his glass and holds it up. He said, "To the greedy siren." And as soon as he says that, you hear a small eruption from right outside the door. And immediately the captain turns 7 shades of red. And you hear the voices shushing themselves, just outside the door.
Should I get up and just walk to the door and just open it and be like, guys, come on.
Yeah, the captain is red in the face.
It's a good embarrassment.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, absolutely.
They're all hoping for it too. You know? I just say our one request is that wherever we end up having to dock, that we can hop on something else that can get us a star mantle. You know,
well,
he's got contacts where we need to dock. If there's another ship over there that we can be like, hey, can we borrow this for like an hour? Thanks.
He said there's one lifeboat on deck. We can have that fitted, and I'll give you 6 of my best men, and we can row, and we can get you there quickly. We'll be able to send them over land to meet us up while we're refitting the ship somewhere down the coast. They'll be able to find us for sure. If nothing else, we can get you the star mantle. With that, he kind of furrows his brow and looks and says, "What can I ask what you all are doing? I've seen my fair share of adventures, and you all aren't that. You're something different. So you're on a mission."
I kind of nod in agreement with Bodo. I'm not really saying anymore.
No, it kind of scans over to the sergeant until. Yeah.
The only thing I have to add is that sometimes the less you know, the better it is.
But then he nods. Yeah. It feels personal too, huh?
A bit.
Right. Um. Can can I can I ask if you're chasing somebody? And he kind of nods. He's like, I felt like it. Um. I'd watch out. If they got the lead on you, there might be folks waiting on you when you get where you're going. I can't imagine there wouldn't be a few deckhands or so that sell you information of you guys arriving for coppers. No, he's just
I'm
saying
pretty
people
sure
in
we've
town.
got loyalty. Ow.
Yeah, no. He's definitely just suggesting that your
There's people.
presence.
Yeah.
There
people
might
waiting.
be, dude.
Probably.
There may be.
It would make
So,
sense. Make perfect sense. I'd do it.
right. So he's just kind of bringing it up. You know, he's like, I don't want to dig too deep. I just want to make sure that you guys, you're covering all your bases here, because he wants to help as much as he can, but he doesn't really have the ability to help you any more than he is. With that, he nods. He's like, well, let's continue. Eat, drink, please. And it seems as if your humility and grace knows no bounds. Let's dine together. And just cheers. So the night progresses. To great merriment. But as the night ends, you find yourselves drifting off back to your rooms. And the day progresses, unless there's anything else you guys wanted to talk about with the captain. That was it. He's super happy, and the crew's happy. Yeah, you have a boat now, and a super ballin' one if you can if you can figure out how to make the horsey go.
Well, that's how we make the horsey go. Is just give it to the captain. It's your boat until we need it, and then you take us wherever.
Perhaps one of the refits you should do is to put more cannons on it.
Oh man, could you? Man, if you had loaded that thing up with guns and good ones with that crew, and if you figured out how the ability to make it move like that, you would literally immediately be the most dangerous thing in the Sea of Fallen Stars.
What to revisit?
Apex
Level
Predator. 20. More guns. This is for the gun fund.
Man, we should have negotiated for a price of all his transports. 1%.
I mean, you did basically just loan it to him for free.
I'm thinking too much D&D and not enough Fable. We need to buy all the shops and charge rent.
Well, let's focus on. Right?
So, inside the hold, there is a map room. And they were able to pull up a map of Star Mantle. So you get reacclimated with the city. So you guys realize you got a window of about 12 hours to find somebody and get on the road. So
I am not a Star Trek nerd, Harry, so
basically,
I don't
you're
know.
gonna use your contacts.
I just know we have a ship,
to
and
find
he was
somebody,
super happy about it, and I'm happy about having a ship.
to
If we
take you
survive
to the
this
Lightless
encounter
Lake.
that's coming up, which is going to be
Photo?
a little tough.
Is that the plan? The plan is for you to use your contacts to find somebody a guide. Yeah.
Thanks, Terry. We'll
so
try that.
You know there's a couple contacts inside the Thieves Guild that did freelance mercenary work, and a lot of that involved travel through the forest, easier than going through the woods or going around through the roads. It's faster sometimes. It's good to know people who know their way through it. Yeah, you can you track those guys down fairly easily. You would know your contact for information generally with the Thieves Guild is at a place called the Bent Chalice Inn, which is on the waterfront.
I think the other three of us should find a place to lay low while he makes that meeting to stay out of sight of anyone related to Hazaram.
Well, what I was thinking is when we're coming in on a lifeboat, essentially, we can come in over here, where just away from the main docks, or even.
No, they have they kind of police and govern themselves. Star Mantle's full of all manner of races, orcs, goblins. I mean, there's really not a whole lot of freaky people out here. You can pretty much come and go as you please. Nobody's gonna give you a sideways look.
If we end up, somewhere over here. Hell, I mean, go all the way over here.
Yeah, that's what
we'll have to go in the city.
Three of us will go to Havoc's safe house
You're-
while Havoc
you're-
makes a meeting with us.
Hold on. Havoc safe houses are literally just like one bedroom lets. Like, there's no way all of you are gonna fit inside one. It's more or less just little hovels he can hang low in for a second. Yeah, well, I do. You're little. They are not little, especially one of them. Yeah, and the other one who is now wearing armor, or will be
Really?
shortly.
I'm as little as I think I am.
Yeah, but you ain't.
what we tell the people in the city doesn't matter. They have people looking for a description of us, and if they see a group of us that matches a description, they're just gonna be like, "Oh yeah, those assholes, looks like them."
Yeah, I'll just use my mask of lies to disguise myself into some random politician. I'll be fine. Yeah.
I mean, you could also disguise yourself if you wanted to. Doing that
That's
with
what
magic.
we're just...
No, well, I mean, just, yeah, so you could, yeah, like I said, like goatee, an eye patch, something like that, where you can show your buddy, hey, it's me, and not have to worry about magic. Yeah. Like, you just smile. He's like, you had me at a silver, and pops it off. And he just has a kind of grotesque socket underneath. No glass eye or anything. It's definitely just like a sunken wound, and just a big smile. Takes the coin and puts it right in his pocket. You see the chagrin of two of the other sailors who also have eye patches. They feel like they've lost in this particular. Abashedly they kind of look away. Like, oh, what are you talking about? I wasn't looking at that. And it hasn't been cleaned. I mean, it's been scraped out. But... Just give me a disguise check. As you try and like make yourself, kind of blend in with the muck, what you essentially end up doing is just covering yourself, like all your exposed skin in muck. So now you just look like you, but filthy you. No, that's for sure. You just look disgusting.
Leo's gonna look at Bodo and shake his head and adjust his mask of lies and kind of activate it and just change into a random politician from back in Selgon. They don't know politicians from Selgon. Start. So I don't have any. You have it. So rob me. Okay. Okay, commoner.
I don't know what you're talking about, Rin. I look amazing. Nothing like a little halfling rogue. Nothing
You
at
might
all.
not fit the description, but they're like, yeah, there's definitely somebody from Selgon here. I don't know if that's the same group of people I'm looking for. Definitely probably sell that info to get paid. Or at least try to. Hit me with them rolls. Let's see how many charges it takes. Solid. Yeah, 15 meets. Meets it beats. Okay.
Like
Brigands.
pirates, marauders, brigands.
Eh? How long does that last? What
Yeah,
level is it? Oh, just assume it's at the lowest then. So it'll last for 2 hours. Yeah, that works. Yeah, you've had this for a bit. You would know how this works.
Let's be honest, your
So yeah,
sleight of hand check was awesome, though. It so
without
well thematically.
interrupt, you land on the shores of Starmantle. Where were you landing again? Did you guys have a consensus?
Yeah,
Okay.
just somewhere out of the way that's not, because I mean, even if they're looking for I don't even know what they'd be looking for as a description of us, but away from the hustle and bustle of the city, the better. I think we are. Fuck, I can't even talk.
Yeah. I mean, anywhere where people are going to be looking for you.
Yeah, that's where I don't want to be.
Right. Um. So yeah, as you land, again, the Bent Chalice Inn was where you knew your contacts for the Thieves Guild. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, we're gonna make our way there, right?
So you kind of make your way through the city. From there, you have to kind of go straight through to the docks on the other side. Your disguises, albeit kind of gross, are holding up well enough. You don't notice anyone looking at you strangely. You kind of blend in with the crowd. There's so many odd sights and smells. Most don't even bat an eye. Staying off of main thoroughfares, but avoiding alleys. You make it to the wharfs where you see sticking out of the side of a building what looks to be a large iron chalice with the stem being bent at a roughly 30-degree angle.
Well, I guess that's where we need to be.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You would also, yeah, you know that the barkeep is the contact. He's a facilitator. So you basically, tell him who you need to talk to, what kind of information you need, and he'll point you in the direction. His name's Fleet, by the way, Fleet. Yeah. This is, the upper echelon. Like, this isn't a dude everybody talks to. Think, concierge at a super high-end thieves place. He's a John Wick. Yeah. There you go. Perfect. Exactly. I was like, come on, there's something. Yeah. He's the concierge from John Wick.
One step ahead of you, and I'm just gonna go past him towards the bar.
Clanking the whole way.
Yep.
Looking imposing as hell. Like, I walk by. You and Sergeant are like, gee, and Till. How tall are you, Till?
About 6 feet, slightly over.
Yeah, so you're a little bit small. Man, those are 3 big dudes, and then, oh wait, no, never mind. You guys just all yourself. Nah, commoners. I imagine halfling is directed everybody around. These big dudes like, fine, we'll sit over here. As you move up, he's iconically cleaning the inside of a mug with a dirty rag. As he comes up, how can I help you? Why are you so gross? Did you fall in the docks? Is that photo under there? Not one for a normal disguise, eh? You hiding from somebody? It looks, it's like you're good at charming most, but I can always spot out a liar. Yeah, he's saying it. He's saying it with he's saying it with a smile. Yeah. What brings you back around? Word is you were one of the people that caused the fire at the Nine Hells, and you took off. Guthmere. What you got any more info on where you're headed in the lake? Or into the forest? Lightless Lake at the Moon Sea. Yeah, that's a ways out there. Couple days out of town, isn't it? Well, there's only a couple guides in town that I trust to get you out there. And that's using the word trust awful loose. In fact, I think the only one that's in town right now is the only one that's in town right now is Dreve at the underworld. The name doesn't ring any bells, but the place does. The underworld is at the edge of town. It used to be a basin of some kind that they literally just put wood panels as a roof across the top of it. So it's technically underground, but it's at ground level. It's right at the edge of town, which is where a lot of non-humanoid caravans come and go. Not quite to the main gates of town. So it's full of mostly non-humanoid patrons. Star Mantle's not really rough. Everybody polices themselves pretty well. And, even as you've been in town, you've seen a couple knife fights, one of which left someone dead. But nothing. It was quickly policed up. It didn't spread into anything else. There's not a lot of there's not a lot of outward violence here. It doesn't really spark into much. You could track him down at the underworld, or I'm sure you could follow his scent. He's a twofold problem. He's a mist head, and he's a gnoll. Mistleaf is a common drug. Think tobacco plus heroin,
Ouch.
like chewing tobacco. So it leaves a telltale black like stain around the mouth from avid chewers. Like imagine ink in your teeth. You know what I mean? You ever seen that? That's what their mouth looks like. Sorry, I thought Mistleaf was one of those. Like, no, okay, sorry. He kind of shrugs. He says, "He's legitimate. He's like I've verified him independently a couple times. He's done guide work around here since the year of the sword. But we might be able to help you get there on foot."
Is normal going right?
It's normal going right. Yeah. Yeah, like a gold piece would be solid. You know. He stacks them up, you know, and slides them and puts them down in his pocket. Said, just be careful. If he hasn't got his fix, he can be testy.
Great.
And you know where it is too, in town. It's right here. It's just a hole in the ground with slabs across the top, and then a stairwell that descends down into the building.
I'll finish my L and follow as we get outside the door. Where are we going? All right, let's go. Kind of look over my shoulder at Sergeant. You hear that? He might be temperamental.
I don't plan on it.
From what I heard, your reputation is now as a bar burner.
Hmm.
Yeah, so you know, as you make your way up, 20 or so stone stairs descend down into a large room with dugout walls in the earth. The big thing to take away from this is the smell. You guys ever been inside a kennel?
Yep.
That, and it's strong. You know, a mixture of like just kind of dirt and urine. As you make your way down the stairs, you're immediately greeted by a large bugbear by the front door. Big hands resting on a club that's pointed down towards the ground, almost twice as tall as you are, Bodo. He looks right down at you, Bodo, and says, "Everyone drinks manling, and everyone pays, and no one fights." With that, he just kind of leans back. You notice as your eyes scan the room that behind a long bar stands a single dwarf, walking on a raised platform. What looks to actually just be a bench put behind the bar. Leaning against the bar, he's cleaning a mug, and with his one good eye, is staring at you, eyeballing you, sizing you up as you come in. As you look around, about a dozen gnolls adorn the room at thick legged tables and thick legged chairs. Towards the back of the bar, however, you notice one bugbear significantly larger than the others, wearing plate armor. A gnoll. Yeah, these are all gnolls that are in there. The bugbear is just the door guy. And noticing in the back, Bodo, you notice that the large gnoll in the back, his mouth and beard, like goatee on his face, are stained dark black. We only have beer. With kind of disdain, he grabs some mugs that are clearly not clean, and taps this swill keg. As it comes out, it looks kind of like beer, but it almost comes out like water, like there's not a lot of foam, and sets him down to the copper piece. When he hands it down, he nods over to another set of barrels that's on the other side of the bar here, that are tapped. Refills are free.
That's expensive.
I thought everyone drinks.
I'm gonna take mine and sip on it while looking at the bugbear. Obviously, just trying to take in as little as possible.
Right, it's gross. This is where gnolls drink. I wanted to accentuate that.
Yeah, I don't think Willie services this bar.
Yeah, no. This isn't one of my accounts. Yeah, give me a spot check. How about that? I like that. We haven't done a lot of skill checks. So you notice that first off that they're noticing you, and as almost as they're watching you, not avidly, but you can tell this is a crew again that feels seasoned. They're clearly all wearing similarly marked garb, and while they are drinking, there's a few gambling. Some are even smoking. That they're all still maintaining kind of that pack discipline. They're having fun, but not too much fun because the big dog's right there.
Fantastic.
Oh yeah. You would very much feel like, again, think the kennel mentality, but all the dogs are loose and they're all relatively even keeled, only because the biggest one is chilling. They could be easily excited.
Leo has already made his way to a chair and sat down.
Sounds like a good plan. I like that plan.
Once you make it around kind of the corner, make it in within 10 or 15 feet of him or so, you see him turn and just start chuffing the air. Hard sniffs and turns and looks back and, manling in the underworld. And at that point, imagine record player skips, and everyone in the bar is now turning and looking at you. And he kind of leans forward and said, "You at the guild?" No, but you do know that there's a war going on in the Thieves Guild. Mm-hmm. Right, with either side. So as long as you're not a fanatic, you're probably alright. With that, he kind of looks to his buddies after making like a formal introduction, and they start like yipping, which sounds like a chuckle, and it busts out as it erodes around the room into like full blown like hyena kind of laughing, like a high pitched whiny laugh. As he turns and said, "All right," as the ruckus starts to settle down, the rest of the gnolls go about doing their business. He says, "All right, Master Slidefoot, come over here, let me get a better look at you." Yeah, there's no immediate threat. Like, they're all taking cues from him. So he kind of laughed, room's disarmed, just went back to a bar. But now you know. Now you've seen how close that trap can come to snapping shut. I'm always looking for work if the pay's good. Well, you're right. I do know the Guthmere. And I'm thinking there's probably no one else in town. That's why you're coming down here to see old old Dreve, right? It's like I am the best, and nothing's going up except the price. How fast do you need to get there? to get. The Gothamir Forest isn't. It's not fast traveling. Where do you need to go? That's every bit of 2 days from here. If you plan on riding with us, no, we're not walking. We run. You think you can keep up? With that, he kind of sizes you up and nods. Says, also, there's no light in that water. In the lake, the sky cannot be seen in it. My pack and I won't go to that place. I'll only show you where to go, and you'll have to go alone after that. He's nodded. How many are in your pack? Let's see. 2 days. Quick travel. Say 200 gold a person. You feel like he is gonna gouge you because you told him that it's time sensitive and he's the only one in town. Half up front. He nods, and you notice like the rest of the pack is eyeballing that money. And he nods, said, "We'll meet you outside the western gate. 1 hour, 1 hour's ride. Just an hour after sunset. We leave tonight." Yeah. Imagine it's early morning. These guys are at the end of a night-long bender. He nods. Good. Night's darkness is a good time for my pack. With that, he nods and kind of turns his shoulder ceremoniously to you, indicating that he's done. Actually, with that is where we are going to wrap it up for tonight. I had to end it early. You like literally it's travel time and the fuck go time.
Yep.
Alrighty, that's gonna be it for this session of A Brewing Storm. Hope anybody watching for the first time enjoyed it. I'm glad that we get to share this with people now. It's been a super fun campaign. And hopefully we play every other week, so hopefully 2 weeks from now when we play again, we'll have a big old summary set up for anybody that cares about the story up to this point, knows why we're doing what we're doing. Can see that and learn exactly what's going on. So a couple weeks down the road, we'll be ready to go. Appreciate everybody stopping by and watching my first somewhat successful attempt at streaming, courtesy of Forge. So thank Forge once again, and y'all have a good night.